Hi everyone, and welcome to the FinTech OI first demo day. And it's a pleasure to have everyone here. So before we begin, I would just like to give a brief background in terms of like who we at Startup Reseau are and what FinTech OI is all about. So Startup Reseau has been like built on the majorly with the vision of helping startups across the globe, focusing towards technology and B2B tech startups. We have been operating since more than 2 years now across multiple industries, having supported of more than 1,000 startups since past couple of years. The team out here has been doing work around corporate development work, corporate innovation programs, accelerator programs, market access programs. And with that being said, our major role was around working with banks and financial institutions in past couple of years. And that's where we found a gap out here where building an industry-wide open innovation network of startup entrepreneurs, banking institutions, financial institutions, investors was somewhere not at par. And that's where the whole vision of putting together the whole FinTech OI ecosystem came into place. And that's what the whole FinTech OI is here. And with that being said, we are coming up with more than 30 plus touch points in this first year. We launched the program on 30th of April, which I believe most of you must have attended. And I would like to just hand over my mic to Ajay out here. Ajay, is there anything else you would like to add here and set some context here before we begin?
No, thank you so much, Sumit, for the wonderful introduction and kicking off the inaugural demo day. Like you've rightly encapsulated, I guess FinTech OI as a platform and going by our vision of converge, connect, and collaborate. I think it is about bringing together different stakeholders of the broader FinTech ecosystem, India and beyond India. And I mean, demo days are one format of giving a platform to fintech entrepreneurs to present in front of enterprise customers as well as investors. But at the same time, the series of masterclasses, workshops, global innovation tools, a bunch of 30 odd touch points that we are coming up with, I'm sure that will go a long way in creating a broader and more collaborative kind of ecosystem opportunities, whether it is for fintechs to land those customers and attract investor attention, for enterprises to see what's next and emerging in fintech and create opportunities for them to collaborate, and investors from a deal flow perspective. So thank you so much for the introduction, and over to you for kickstarting the demo day.
Thanks, Ajay. So I would like to invite our first startup. And before that, so there's all our communications mentioned that there are 8 startups, but that's a surprise out here. We went back to the blackboard and then we decided that why not just have 8 startups? We decided to add 2 more to the demo day agenda out here. So we have total 10 startups presenting out here across lending, AI, ML, payments, and financial inclusion space. So with that being said, I will invite Mr. Sunil out here, which is the first startup from eLoan Originators. Over to you, Sunil, and you have briefly 10 minutes for the pitch, and we can end with a brief Q&A post that.
Thanks, Sumit, and good to see a lot of old friends, especially from the Rise Mumbai team. And good to see Mr. Timana. Hello, Timana. So I'll get started with sharing my screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay. So we are a platform, we are a B2B2C platform providing loans through bank APIs. So we are working on this Samati, which is going to come with the NBFC AI, which will allow us a customer consent-based access to multiple documents, which will change the entire the way the loans are being dispersed in India. So typically, the market opportunity what we are looking at is the new business services which is going to come with this one India stack is going to be loan portfolio management and distribution of digitization and yield and volume optimization. The current scenario of loan distribution is there is this list of financial information, which is on the left-hand side, which is customer data, credit data, income tax, and banks data, where you need to have a physical access to get these data from customers. And then there are different loan aggregators who could be a direct sales team, a direct sale agent, or an online aggregator, and then who process through different banks. For each bank, they have to do the whole process multiple times. The loan size in India is typically the number of inquiries in a month is around 19 million. The home loan book size is around 19 trillion. And the personal loan book size is around 4 trillion. The loan lenders, the public sector banks are 12 in number, private sector banks 22, foreign banks 44, and there are multiple NBFCs. Customer base for eligibility of loans, number of salaried income tax returns is around 2.9 crores, number of business income tax returns is 2.44 crores, and number of GST returns is around 82 lakhs. This is the segment which we are going to work on. The problem what we are going to solve is India has more than 100 banks and NBFC which provide loans. A customer has to choose a lender based on his loan eligibility, interest rate, and other costs. The process of applying a loan and the process of determining the customer loan eligibility is a tedious one. Providing digital loan option to customer is a better solution. So the new, in fact, the new lending environment proposed by iSpirit. So there will be loan service providers and technology providers, so where we want to fit in. The new ecosystem, what we are, which we are going to bring in is the entire financial information, which is customer data, civil, income tax, banks, will be available at a customer consent. These will be through a loan originator, specifically builders, charter accountants, corporates. These originators will help us in getting these specific data from an individual specific customer, and we as a platform will be connected with different banks for APIs, and we will match their income and data to get specific loan offer generation from different banks directly. This is the new ecosystem which we are building out. The 4 critical infrastructure by eLoan originators to scale is, first is we do a backend integration with banks and NBFCs. So first thing will have to be either a digital associate or a direct sales associate for loan disbursement, where we will provide assisted loan process, integration with bank loan APIs, account aggregator, income tax, GST, and credit information bureau. The second part is to add new loan originators, which is it could be a charter accountant, it could be a builder, a corporate, or any financial managers or service providers. So we are going to make it ease of onboarding various types of loan originators, customized web portal with loan comparator tools, lead mapping to each of these loan originators, revenue sharing with originators, technology support, sales and training support to them. The product offering is what we provide is we have a FinAlgos, which is a dynamic rule engine to create loan products and integrate them with bank APIs. FinBot, which is a financial bot with loan comparator tool, loan lifecycle analysis, and loan predictors. YieldRank provide analytics to banks to increase or decrease rates based on competitive analysis. LeadRank will also give help us in rank leads based on the offers or higher probability of conversion. The revenue model, what we are bringing is the loan originator gets an alternative income. Banks or NBFC gets more business. Banks or NBFC pay commission to our platform. The main differentiator, what we are trying to bring in, there will be high volumes of leads from the originator who has a direct access to his own customer base. And the qualified leads will be much higher. So people coming to on a loan originator platform will have a basic information which has been verified by the originator. Hence, we are looking at a 40% conversion. Typical comparison with DSA is around 20%, banks is around 3%. Online aggregators varies based on the contacts. So we also digitize the entire distribution channels in the pipeline. So we understand the banks and NBFC are becoming digital, but then unless the distribution channels are made digitized, the effectiveness of the getting an entire digital process will be hampered. So that's what we are we've been doing. So all the products will be personal loan, home loan, auto loan, gold loan, or life insurance, or health insurance. So each executive or originator will have his own web portal and then which is mapped to the bank. And multiple sales channels can be built out of this, which could be a branch, direct sales associate, DST, loan aggregators, builders, or connectors. So what are the main differentiate our platform is for? Access to customer. Access to customer, qualified customer via builders, corporates, and charter accountants. Other loan distributors, there's a high number of unqualified customers. Access to documents. Typically payslip, income tax returns, bank statement access via loan originators, which will enable to identify eligible customers. Again, for automation of, we do automation of document analysis, which will be reconciliation of credit reports, bank statement, payslip, income tax return, and automation of reconciliation of loan evaluation, loan comparison, and loan lifecycle analysis. So these are the things which our platform will be doing. So use case will be, or it will automate offers, alert when there is a rate reduction or increase in loan eligibility, send offers when there is a rate reduction or increase in loan eligibility, send offers once in 15 days, alert when the competitor rate is high, alert a balance transfer offer, digitize distribution channels, and so on. So the new scenario under COVID is banks are opening up their lending APIs, easy to recruit loan originator as it gives them opportunity to earn additional income. Adding 5,000 loan originators in next 1 year will make us one of the market leaders. Current operation business by platform users, we do around 40 crores of personal loan and home loan together. A number of loan originators on our platform is around 300, mainly based out of Bangalore. So the go-to-market strategy is to work on charter accountants who are approximately around 2 lakhs, and the number of filings they do is around 2.44 crores. Corporates, the number of salary income filings is around 2.9 crores. Number of EPF account holders is around 4.7 crores. Builders with unsold inventory of 6.42 lakhs. There are registered real estate agents and insurance agents. So in fact, the potential loan market size with loan originators is about 100 trillion. So the revenue model from fees from bank, the banks pay us anywhere between 0.25% to 3%. We can work on either a revenue sharing model or a subscription model with different loan originators. The unit max works out in this way. The loan commission, if it is 100 rupees, the loan originators will get around 50 rupees. Operation cost works out around 20% and technology cost around 15%. The net revenue margin will be around 15%. So these are the projections what we have done. So we are looking at a revenue of 50 crores by 24-25. And to achieve this, the number of loan originators required is around, which will start from 905 in this current financial year, we go up to 5,200. Even if we are looking at a productive size of 136 to 780, and average number of loans 14, so works out around the average per month of 1 per month to start with. We have also worked on the home loan ticket size and the number of loan ticket size which have to be done on a monthly wise. These are the commissions what we are looking at. So the commission works to starts from 288 lakhs in 2021 to goes up to 107.04 lakhs on 2025. So our major partners are different banks, third-party integrations. We worked with income tax, GST. We are working with FinView, credit information bureaus, UIDI, banks, and NBFCs. Our customers varies from loan agents to different online aggregators. These are our online aggregator competitors. Specific ask what we're looking is for, we're looking to raise around $2 million. We are also looking to partner with other online aggregators who can use our API for distributing loans to their customer base, which could be a Practo or a Magic Breaks or 99 Acres or Housing, and to integrate with lending APIs of banks and NBFCs. So anyone who can connect us with different banks to connect, where we can integrate their APIs. These are the 3 specific as what we are looking for. Founder, myself, Sunil, and my colleague Anu Kumar, who has got 18 years experience in product development. This is about us. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Sunil, for wrapping it up exactly on time. And what we'll do is I'll let audience, we'll wait for 2 minutes and we can have any questions from the audience side, which we have. So either you can post your questions on the chat box below, or you can join the stage by unmuting yourself and introduce yourself and ask your questions here. I guess everyone understood everything, or else nobody understood anything. But well, yeah, I mean, so it was an amazing presentation by your side, Sunil.
Thank you.
Like in case if there are no questions specific, then what I'll do is I'll move to the second presentation out here for the day, and for that I will like to welcome Mr. Sandeep from Lendfoundry. Hi, Sandeep, are you there?
Hi, Sumit. Yes, I'm there.
Hi, thanks, Sandeep. So what I'll do is I'll hand over the mic to you, and you can introduce yourself, and you can give a bit brief about Lendfoundry. You have approx 10 minutes, followed by a question and answer sessions. And over to you, Sandeep.
If you can allow me to share my screen.
Yes, it's allowed. Sunil, you will have to stop your screen sharing. Yes.
All right. I hope all of you are able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen, Sandeep.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for this opportunity to come and meet you guys. I'm Sandeep Phophaliya, the founder and CEO of Lendfoundry. Lendfoundry is a cloud technology to manage loans and to originate them and service them digitally. So I got it. Just a second. Sorry about the goof up. Yeah. Lendfoundry provides a promise of reduction of about 70% in terms of cost and time to market. We are an award-winning SaaS platform. In fact, we were winners of Integrate 2018. Lendfoundry provides tools and accelerators to lenders so that they can manage their lending lifecycle digitally. Since we are a strong platform and a technology company, it's important that we talk about technology. We provide a microservices-based architecture, which provides high performance and also seamless scaling. In short, it's something which is used by the ones like Netflix, Amazon. Lendfoundry offers loan origination and loan management system. Along with that, we offer new age features like customer management, compliance management, authentication, security, AI-powered credit scoring, and marketing, which are all important from a lender's world. We were founded in 2017. We have offices in Irvine and California and Bangalore. We're a team of 60 plus employees, and we are looking at revenue of about 2.5 million in this year. We have customers largely in the US and then in Canada and also some in India. Briefly about our team, I have about 20 years of experience in technology and entrepreneurship. Phophaliya, who's our co-founder, was the Woman Entrepreneur of the Year. She comes from Infosys in her earlier days. Pranav Panpalia, who heads our engineering as a co-founder and also co-founder, is an IIM Bangalore graduate. He comes from Infosys, Yodlee, worked with those companies in the past. Hemant Namdar, who heads our business development, has 20 years in technology and digital businesses. And he's based in our Irvine office, and he has worked with companies like Yodlee, KPMG, Z Group, and others. We also have consultants like Kanan Ramaswamy, Ramas, and Rajesh, who have about 25 years plus experience and based in Bangalore and New York. My job was made a little simpler, from the prior speaker because they kind of talked about it, but to briefly talk about the market we are serving. There's a large digital disruption, and as we are sitting at home, more and more businesses have a need to move from brick and mortar to brick and click. And, this is very important to open up new and underserved segments. The dynamics are completely changing now. There are new consumers and small and medium-sized businesses, which are highly underserved. Borrowers are looking at more and more self-service, and the loan sizes are becoming smaller and niche, and lenders need to reduce their cost. It'll be surprising for you to know that only 1 of the 10 lenders have ability to do an instant loan in spite of all the technology and fintech and resources available to them. and only 20% of the applications at best are globally funded, which means there's a high amount of rejections and cost to manage those rejected applications. To solve this, Lendfoundry provides an integrated platform so that our clients can run their lending business digitally. When I say integrated, we mean that we provide different kinds of experiences like a borrower portal, broker portals, and others where people can come and apply and engage with the platform digitally. We have a loan origination system, a loan management system, a BI and reporting system. We are an API first company. So we provide an extensive way to integrate with our platform using our APIs. We have bureau reporting and CRM integration. Our promise to the market is 7 times faster time to market than if you were to build in-house. We offer 5 times more integrations than most lenders would, or most competition will offer in terms of third party. We help them reduce their cost of ownership by 3 times and 10x faster loans. So most of our customers fund their loans from the first time borrower makes a connect to the money in the bank, less than 24 hours. This is an ecosystem in which we operate. We integrate with 80 plus third-party fintechs, ecosystem and platform providers. And that makes Lendfoundry really a comprehensive platform. What it also means is it provides higher stickiness to Lendfoundry. It provides perpetual revenue flow for us. It provides our customers to do customer 360, use things like social, etc., for better customer profiling, risk assessment, early warning, and others. And we are an open API and a modular architecture. So it allows us and our customers to not just integrate with these third parties, but also with other technology stacks. So you'll see some of these more popular in the US and some of them also popular in Asia and other markets as well. As I mentioned, we started 2017. So we hit our first million in revenue in June 19. Right now, as we finish the year, we grew 60% from the last year. We are about 22 customers, and the end of this year, we are looking at 40 customers, and we are investing very heavily into AI, predictive analytics, and other parts of the platform. What really makes us a differentiated company is our focused execution, and that is really, we think, is our winning strategy. From a regional execution, we focus on US, Canada, and Asia. US and Canada, they are the largest markets, easier to target digitally. We have a local presence there. And for a company of our size, we have a SOC 1 and 2 compliance, which is not so common. We have very focused market segments. We look at personal loans and unsecured business loans as the target markets. And there's a huge potential there because there's a large need for such products in the market. And there's also need for alternate data in these businesses. We also look at strategic alliances. We go through OEMs, merchant acquirers, and payment processors, which kind of help us get customers in bulk. We have very simple pricing and revenue model. We have a setup fee, which is one time, and then origination fee, which is charged at per application or a funded loan. And if customers use our servicing solution, we charge on a per active loan. So we keep our pricing really simple, and we grow with our customers as they grow. We also get some amount of revenue shares from the third parties, which we integrate, in form of referral and ongoing revenue fee. Our target audience are founders, CEO, chief product officers, chief technology officers, and head of operations in lending institutions, largely focused on personal and business lending. We're looking at raising a $2 million in terms of capital, which will help us kind of, accelerate our growth, invest in business development and sales, and also on some parts of product engineering. We have built a very good traction and pipeline. And, we think we are at the right place where we can really kick off from here. So with this, I would like to take an opportunity to thank you all for patiently listening to us. And we'd like to take a little more time just in case if there were more questions around it. And you can see some of the awards and recognitions we have also got.
That's great. That's amazing, Sandeep. So till that time, I would I think we already have one question out here from Ananya from Innopack, which she says, what's the typical sales cycle time from your side?
Prior to COVID, I would say 7 to 8 months. With COVID, it has gone to like 3 to 4 months now.
And it wasn't really amazing statistic where we learned that like only hardly 1 in 10 banks are digitally equipped to have instant loan underwriting and loan disbursement capability, and that's quite a surprising stat to find out.
Indeed, Sumit. Yeah.
So with that being said, let's wait for a minute in case if any of the other audience have any questions. Either, as I mentioned, you can jump on the stage by unmuting yourself or drop your questions on the chat box below. Great. I guess we don't have any further. I think yes, we already got one question from Sirish Reddi, and Sirish says that how different are the capabilities needed for different countries, and that's quite an interesting since you operate in multiple countries, so that's something we should also learn.
Yeah, thank you for the question. On technology, it's not so much different, but when you package it as a domain solution and go to market, and that's why we invest in domain specialists, product owners who have a fairly good understanding of those particular markets, the lending products, and that's why we're trying to be very focused because you cannot go to too many things. So yeah, short answer to a long explanation will be you can launch, but I think you're more likely to be successful in sales and implementations if you can bring on people with that industry experience. It doesn't need to be local people. I'm sure you can get a lot of talent available in Bangalore and a lot of other places, right, where companies have been traditionally serving these markets offshore. But yeah, I mean, to have some sort of a knowledge is a really good thing because we work with lenders for last many years, even before founding Lendfoundry. So we did have that advantage of working with the US geographies and Canada geographies, and specifically lenders in these segments.
And Divya asks that what's the typical default rate in the ASEAN region and what is the repayment strategy out here?
Depends on the kind of products, but let's say if you're looking at from an ASEAN region, if you're looking at 18 to 30% interest rates products, and unsecured loans, based on our experience, you're looking at about 3% to 2.2 to 3% default rates. Anything more higher than these interest rates, obviously, your default rates are going to be higher. If you look at non-ASEAN, let's say US, your default rates are going to be a little bit higher, but their interest rates are typically 32 to 48%.
That's interesting. And Prakash mentions that what would it take for you to start working with a mainstream bank? And is this in focus in the USA and Canada where you operate, as he understands?
I mean, I would say about 70% of the revenues comes from US and Canada. We have a lot of conversations in this region as well, but the sales cycles are longer. I would say, especially in India and a few other countries, the sales cycles are longer. We are in conversation with a few large NBFCs, a couple of banks, and our product is ready. So we are more than happy to serve the market needs for anybody who might have a need. And maybe if you wanted to connect with us, Sumit, if you can please connect us, then we are happy to follow through on this conversation and connect with Prakash.
Absolutely, absolutely. So just to mention to all the audience, if there is any specific personal connection request with any of the startup founder, just drop us a line of email at fintechoi@startupreseau.com and we will make an introduction with the relevant startup. And I guess that being said, I will have to move on with the next presentation, Sandeep. Thank you so much for your presentation, and it was amazing to have you.
Thank you so much, and appreciate your time and opportunity. And I wanted to wish everybody to stay safe and keep well. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. So the next startup we have is Dataway, and Vikas is here from Dataway. So Vikas, are you there? Vikas Srivastava?
Yes. Hi, Sumit.
Hi, Vikas. So I'll hand you over the mic and you can introduce yourself, share your screen and go ahead. You have briefly approx 10 minutes followed by a question and answer. So over to you, Vikas.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Sumit. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vikas Srivastava, uh, CEO Database Solutions Private Limited. Basically, a few years back, I was thinking about creating a fintech product, and to create a successful fintech company. So got an idea, built a product, prototype of that product, and was waiting for the right opportunity. And I believe that is today. Let me start stating that today digital economy is growing very fast, where digital transactions are grown up from what was in 2016, around 68% were the cash-based transaction. That is today non-cash based transactions are accounted for 60 to 70%. And if you look at the scenario where the traditional banking that has created a fantastic product in last few decades, like your credit cards, debit cards, your net banking, they are fantastic. Credit card and debit cards are fantastic, but at the same time, it has its own risk. They carry their own risk. Net banking is a fantastic product that enables customer to do everything from home. We all know that. But at the same time, all these products, and then now mobile wallet and mobile banking. But one thing that is everyone knows, specifically banks knows, all these products, specifically net banking and mobile banking, are done through a traditional computer. And bank knows very well these traditional computers are not safe, where cyber criminals are attacking these systems. And I think in 2000 last year, there are 18 million digital transaction frauds were reported in US alone. So basically, what we thought, can we move away from traditional system to a digital system? And the obvious choice was the mobile device. But we all know mobile device having an OS, and it runs a plethora of application that is definitely not making secure to do transaction. So we have built a product called My Wallet, and I believe when people use it, they will feel they will feel really secure while carrying it, and at the same time, it is going to give the convenience of carrying a cash for the people. So this is a product called My Wallet. This is going to be we call it secure, personal, and simple, because it is your wallet, P2P wallet. It is same device will act as a POS. Same device will act as a digital credit card holder, and this device comes with core banking ready. It means a bank account is linked with this device. When I'm saying to people, this is secure and you don't have to carry your wallet, you have to carry just this device. So question is, what is there in this device inside? Let's look into the inside, what it has. So this device, foundation of building this device is the security as a whole. So it has a built-in crypto chip. It has no OS. It is tamper resistance, and it has built-in 2G or 3G connectivity with a battery life of 1 to 2 years. But this 2G and 3G connectivity are not used by the user. System uses on its own when required. And one of the important thing here, you can do transactions using this device anywhere 24/7 without any connectivity. You don't need a connectivity for doing transaction using this device. So when we are believing so much on this device, let's look into deeper inside the device, how it looks like. So this device is a black box which is securely booted. The codes, when device boots, it is securely booted. When the codes are running, those are verified codes. data leak prevention is implemented, integrity measurement of the system is implemented. Whenever this device want to communicate with the server on the internet side with the banks verifies the device integrity and do a remote attestation and then allow the device to get connected. Each device comes with a PKI, and each device itself is also deeply integrated as a blockchain node in the whole ecosystem. Now, let's look into the few important functionalities. Those are very critical for device to function. What are these functionalities? So this device is super easy to issue with an Aadhaar authentication. It can be this device, when it is issued, it is co-banking ready, and it is also you can load, you can link your existing bank account, or you can load the money in the wallet. Second, device will be used to user transaction, user to merchant, and merchant to merchant transaction. Also, this device will be used as a you can transfer the money from bank. That system does automatically based on your if you have a balance low or your high balance, based on that bank system decides based on your preferences set. You need money from bank and you want money to the bank. And this device is also useful to do a remote transfer. It means you can this device can transfer money from a person sitting in Bangalore can transfer money to a person sitting in Delhi, and much more. And these devices are part of a are managed through a blockchain-based device management system. Having said that, we are working on implementing a blockchain-based system where this is called a light-headed blockchain system that we are implementing, because these devices are your wallet. It doesn't need, say, very high-end. This device doesn't have to be a full-blown your blockchain node, and it has to be a light-headed blockchain node where what are the transactions that is coming and going has to be recorded, and whenever bank needs to authenticate, they can authenticate. This has been not possible without a solid team of we are and with the same focus and passion. I have like Saptrishi, who is an advisor, ex-Microsoft and JP Morgan, Rohit, looking after advising us on the Marketing Alliance, IIT Kharagpur, and Utkarsh, who is tech architect on the blockchain and very experienced person. We also have consulting CFO and a very well-known from industry who's working as an information security advisor. I would like to give you a demo of the whole solution, how it works.
Do a demo of our P2P system. There are three components: device 1, device 2, and there's a bank agent mobile. We'll first use cases transfer funds between device 1 and device 2. We'll demo that. Focus here. So we take 100. We won't transfer from. We show first you balance. So balance is 897 here, and we show you balance. Balance is 1,268 here. Let's transfer 100 rupees from this device 1 to device 2. So we'll take. So we take 100. Okay. It asking the PIN. And it is asking, if I say here, okay, is asking to tap on authenticate other device. If I tap, okay, so I need to press a button. So it has been, if you look at the balance, it is show here, it's 100 rupees increase 12368. Here it is less minus 797. So, and this is about the transaction between P2P device. Then I can clear this, see the balance, clear this, and see the balance. Can you take it more closer? Yeah. So is done. Now I'll try to show you a cache-in, how to do cache-in between this device and the bank device. So can you bring?
I just want to give a stop here. This when we built this device initially, we have not integrated 2G and 3G, but going forward, we are going to integrate 2G and 3G. So we don't need a banking correspondent also in this system. We just need, because device can automatically sync with the server, banking server, and take some, can draw money. Of course, based on AI, there are some AI work is going on. But yes, if required, we can have this banking correspondent also transfer the money.
I will transfer 100 rupees. 100. Continue. And see 100. It's asking you to tap onto other device. I'll tap onto this device. So it's a touch to beam. I click. And if you look at this, 100 rupees has been 2468, and here balance has been reduced. Okay, so these are the two use cases we have demonstrated. Similarly, we have a cash out, so we can take money. Okay, end of the demo. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks a lot, Vikas. Thank you. I think there was someone who wanted to raise a question.
I'm sorry, because I was in presentation mode, so I could not see that. Can I have his question, please?
So I already have like 2 questions on the chat box, which I'll let you know. So majorly, what is the advantage of this product? Like majorly, number 1 being the security, and what's the how do you convince the users to start using this product? And
okay,
second question is majorly, what's the cost for the device out here?
Okay, so number 1, if you look at the why we can convince user to start using it and how they get benefited, not only user and bank also, assume that a use case where this device is you don't have to, number 1, while using the device, you don't have to scan a QR code, you don't have to give your mobile number, you don't have to give your email ID, you just tap and go. That is number 1. So it means it keeps this device protect the identity of the user who's doing transaction. So I go to a vegetable shop, I tap on his device and come back. It's so simple. So he don't know who I am, and I don't know who he is, but at the same time, bank knows who is the sender and receiver. Now that is required for the bank to follow anti-money laundering laws and the other regulations required by the central bank to follow globally. So, but bank knows who they are, but at the same time, both we know, I don't have to know him, so I don't have to know him. That is 1. Second, when you lost your device, you lost your wallet, you lost everything. Like you lost your debit card, you lost your credit card, you lost your driving license, you lost everything. But in this case, when you lost, it's useless for anybody, because the moment he puts 3 times wrong attempts, brute force, he can't run on this device. He can't open this device. If he does anything, device will go into self-destruct mode. Whereas, so his identity is secured fully. At the same time, the user can go to a shop. We are working on it, on this strategy. He can buy this device through an eKYC and synchronize his device and go up in 5 minutes. All his data is protected. And it's all running on a part of the data that is required to make the system is going to be done on blockchain. So everybody is device is secure, at the same time he's secure. So these are the very big advantages, because the identity fraud, your security, we are addressing all these with this device. Now, why user will example? I'll give an example. Why it is convenient to have not cash in this device. But because in my wallet I carry 100 rupees, or let's say I'm carrying 500 rupees. So let's say I'm moving to a shop. I just tap onto other guy and collect from him money. I can do that, because it's not available, this kind of system. So people are not aware, so they are not using it. But when this is available, it is so convenient. You don't have to go to ATM. You don't have to go. You can just go to a merchant, and we are enabling merchant to be an ATM. You don't need to go to an ATM for drawing the until unless it's a large cash. Even large cash can be done. Now, question was, when you do large transaction like 50,000 from a merchant who has in his box, he, because of the AML and other issues, so that bank knows who are the sender and receiver from the system. So we are addressing even that. So basically, it's all about identity protection, anonymity, and the real security and real feel in the user's mind that we are safe while using this device. Yeah. And
that's really amazing. And what's the cost for this device?
Again, it depends on, because it's a piece of hardware. It's depends how it's, if it produces in large quantities, like in millions, then device is going to be really I can say fit for India market. And not only that, we have a different strategy for, very interesting strategy for using reducing the cost significantly for this device. Let's say I say this device cost you $50, but you can imagine today I have 5 credit cards. So it means 5 bank has issued me a credit card, and it is costing me, each bank costed 150 rupees. So they spended 100 and 500 plus some 800 rupees, right? But what if I share this cost among the consortium of banks, because they have to issue one card, everything is digital, right? So this 600 rupees will be shared among the 10 to 12 banks, actually, because we are looking at going to a consortium of banks and saying, hey, look, you don't have to issue cards individually, just share the cost of one device for one customer, and you can issue digitally these cards into this device. You don't need to issue cards. So we are going to save. So example, if in Bangalore itself, I mean Bangalore, I'll take a use case of Bangalore. Let's say Bangalore has issued 10 million credit or debit cards for assuming 3 cards per person. So it's a huge saving for the bank in millions of dollars. Actually, I'm sure I'm not talking about saving for the banks through this method, because it has a different advantage of security, anonymity, but I'm just saying this is simple example, the way banks will be excited when they know this kind of system is this is possible. Similarly, your licenses, your Aadhaar, your digital can be in this, and it is, assume you go to an airport, just scan this device, flash this device in front of security guard outside, and your Aadhaar will pop up. You don't have to take out your purse. You don't have to do anything. You don't have anything, because you're so confident about this device. You can just, so we are talking about completely digital economy. And a digital economy, because you see that the data sets of user who are coming online, non-cash based transactions are today 60%. So it means these transactions need a very secure and robust device. At the same time, people has to be really
sorry to interrupt with you, Vikas. We are running short on time, and I have like more questions coming in.
Sure.
That's an interesting question which I'm getting from Mahindra. That is, what if PhonePe PhonePe or any other like payments players out in the market tries to like come up with a blockchain based payment? So how will it be different at a competitor strategy? And the last question, second question, which I like you can answer together, that is it based on NFC technology, yes or no? And try to wrap it up as soon as possible. Thanks,
yes,
Vikas.
of course, based on NFC technology, but again, highly secured, because P2P devices are, you can't put in a scanner and read this data, because P2P devices are interact each other only P2P. They don't interact with anybody else. That is number one. Second, yes, if you're talking about coming out this strategy of PhonePe or Google Pay coming with a blockchain-based system, but they're still using the traditional system. And banks knows deep inside their mind very well why they're adding two-form factor authentication, why they're making difficult for people to do transaction online. In spite of that, it should be very easy. Just go to online and transact. You can do a transaction of $1 million also. But why banks are adding these security measures onto like nowadays, I see that even OTP required a further authentication. Why? Because they know it is not secure. They know a general purpose computer is not secure. That is the main reason why we are talking about a dedicated device, so light device. If you look at the size of the device, if it's like size of 96 mm, 56 mm. It fits in the pocket, very light and very useful. And of course, running. So it's a fusion of AI, blockchain, and encryption, physical hardware-based encryption. In fact, this is very good for a low-cost device, used for your storing the crypto. Basically, it can be a crypto wallet as well. Yeah.
That's really amazing. And I guess you can stay back and try to answer any other questions
Sure.
on the chat box as well.
Sure.
But I'll have to move ahead with the agenda out here.
Sure.
With that being said, thank you so much, Vikas, for joining us today. And I would like to introduce Indra from Scribble Data. Hi, Indra.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks a lot. Vikas, you will have to stop your screen share.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
Hi, Indra. Welcome. And
Thank you.
I'll hand you over the mic. Let you introduce yourself and take over with us with Scribble Data. You have briefly 10 minutes, followed by we can take a question and answer follow. Watch that. Thanks
Wonderful.
a lot.
Am I good to start?
Yes, Indra, please.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'm hoping everybody can see my screen. I'll just push this to full screen. All right. So hi, everyone. My name is Indra. I'm from a company called Scribble Data. Now, we aren't a fintech player ourselves, but we are a vendor to fintech companies. We are in the business of enabling data science and data analytics at these fintech companies, enabling a number of use cases there. And the way we do that is through our focus, which is on data preparation. So we are primarily a machine learning engineering product company. As you know, in machine learning, you have the statistical algorithms, and then you have the actual raw data that has to be massaged so that you can train the machine learning models. Our focus is helping data science teams to prepare that data. Our product is called Enrich. It's a category of product called Feature Store. It's not important about what features exactly are at this point, but the idea is how can we help data analysts and data science teams at fintech companies quickly go from their raw data to prepared or to enriched data that they can then use to address a host of use cases. So today we'll look at one of our customers who is a fintech company, and we'll go over a couple of use cases that we are solving for them. So one of the things, just before I get into that, is that we are all about understanding and being very careful with data. So we enable GDPR compliance through robust data sets that the users can be very confident about in terms of how it was transformed from a very raw state to a prepared or to an enriched state that was then used to address whatever number of use cases there are at that fintech customer of ours. So today, I'll be talking about one of our customers who is in the cross-border remittance space. So they are actually a B2B provider of the kind of software infra that enables the cross-border remittances. So their customers end up being the likes of Western Union and TransferWise, if that makes sense, right? So Western Union and TransferWise are obviously a B2C players. They're enabling end users like you or me to be able to send money from point A to point B. Our customer here enables Western Union to offer that service to their end customers. So Scribble Data built this customer's data intelligence platform to power a variety of use cases there. And today we'll look at just a couple of them. But before that, I want to give you a snapshot of what that architecture looks like, right? So when we built their data intelligence platform, we called it TIP. It stands for their intelligence platform. And at a high level, this is what's going on, right? So their data intelligence platform is sort of sitting parallel to their existing critical infrastructure, the stuff that allows the likes of Western Union to transfer money from a sender in country A to a receiver in country B. We are sitting alongside these, and we are able to monitor all of these different transactions, and we're able to use that data to then give a lot of enriched analytics and enriched data sets that can be used for further downstream applications. So I'm just going to zoom into what that data intelligence platform looks like. So this is a better view of it. What you see in the box over here with the compute pipelines, the services, the features are nothing but enriched data. That is the core of our product at Scribble Data called Enrich. So this is the kind of data platform that we built for them. And in the next slide, I'll talk about one of the important use cases that we're helping them solve. So as a provider of a service that allows an end user to send money from country A to country B, it's important for our customer to have a rolling bank balance always maintained at country B, meaning the recipient country, such that all of these transactions after the initial authentication, they get fulfilled very quickly. Now, of course, you can understand that if they hold out too much money in those recipient countries, they're losing out. They also don't want to be in the forex speculation market. They want to be able to come as close as possible to accurate forecasts about how much money they need to keep at every destination country. So when you think about the number of different models required to be able to sort all of these different channels by destination country, by their customer. So if it was Western Union, you'd have one model for that. If it was TransferWise, you'd have another model for that. And within Western Union, if you were sending money to a country like Pakistan, you'd have one model. If you were sending to Indonesia, you'd have another model. So it needs a robust software infrastructure to be able to feed data sets to all of these different models simultaneously and to be able to train them as regularly as needed. So what you're seeing here is the kind of predictions that are possible from any one of these different models, all of which are fed by data sets that are coming out of our system. So forecasting, as you can imagine, solves a fairly major problem for them. Of course, it is always a work in progress to get the accuracy of the forecast as close to the ground truth as possible. But today it is possible to do that using the data sets that are generated from Enrich. Another problem that is being solved here is, from an AML perspective, to be able to get a sense of the kinds of ways that people are either gaming the system, whether knowingly or unknowingly. It has a huge impact on the kinds of margins that both our customers are able to make as well as their downstream customers, right? And using Enrich, we're able to even categorize these types of duplications into the simple ones where it looks like there is no collusion between individuals. It's the exact duplicate entry simply with a different transaction ID. In the case of partner obfuscated duplication, right, we are able to categorize them there as well, which is like maybe Western Union didn't send some fields or details, but by and large, you can tell that this transaction is the same as this other transaction. And by that metric, be able to identify them. And then, of course, there are the suspicious duplications, right? The ones where, sorry, give me a second. The suspicious duplications are the ones where you're going to find some amount of, maybe you have the same name, but you have different dates of birth, or the KYC documents don't match up. Or you have another situation where it's the same number, but the country code is different, or the date of birth is different, and a variety of these things. These are ways that people are using to game the system to be able to send more than they're allowed to during a particular transaction window, and in other ways exploit loopholes. So all of this is heading towards helping our customer and their customers implement tighter and better AML rules. So this is a flavor of two use cases. One I just talked about, which was the forecasting. Another one that is headed in the AML direction. And there are many such use cases that this customer of ours is able to address simply because we are able to prepare and give them the most continuously computed up-to-date data sets coming out of their data intelligence platform. So a little bit about, I won't spend too much time because there's a lot of stuff going on here, but basically our product has a bunch of different hooks and a bunch of different functionality that allows for the robust preparation of these data sets to address any number of such use cases that our customers might have. I am very conscious of our time. I won't spend too long, but I'd be happy to take a couple of questions. And of course, I've got a bunch of slides to talk in more depth about our product and our offering. With that, I'll open it.
That's amazing, Indra. Thank you so much for wrapping it up in time. And I think there were a few questions already, which your team member is already helping us answer on the chat box. With that, let's wait for next like 2 to 3 minutes, and let's see if the audience has any specific questions. With that, I think I would like to throw a question from my side. How, as in majorly, how do you integrate with any of the customers currently? Is it through a API based system?
No. So this usually tends to be, so these are mid-maturity fintech customers. They have a bunch of transactions already happening. They've got some value in their data as well as the actual business that they're doing. So we are very conscious about that. So we install on their VPC. It's a cloud installation, but always within their firewall. So no data leaves their VPC, doesn't come out of that. So you can think of it as an on-prem deployment.
Okay. An on-prem deployment is available, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And I guess if you can throw some use cases around insurance and insurtech segment, that would be great.
So I think while we have not had an insurance customer yet, some of the problems are sort of cross-industry in that sense, right? I see Venkatas talking about churn models. They're talking about intelligently building pricing for insurance products. Imagine being able to build targeted prices for various insurance products based on clusters of users or groups of users. For this group of users, the same product can have a different price just because of your intelligence that you've gathered and the data sets that you've prepared that tell you about the propensity of somebody actually availing an insurance policy in such and such segment versus another segment.
Hi, Indra. This is Sandhya. Do we have time for another question? I want to ask.
Yes, Sandhya, please go ahead. We have some time.
Yes. So, Indra, I wanted to ask that when you say, I think Venkat answered my question by saying that score customers. So, can you elaborate on that part? Like, how do you do it? Like, if you can just briefly tell me what's the process there, or like what's the method that you use to score customers, etc.
Yeah. So look, sorry, I don't know if that was Venkata, but I'll tell you, see, the thing is, we are primarily a data engineering company. So what ends up happening is we rely on the domain expertise of data science folks and data analysts at our customers to figure out how they want to be able to score their customers. Typically, they give us a variety of attributes that based on these things, these are the kinds of weights that we want to assign to customers who have these kinds of transactions or who exhibit this kind of behavior. Once that math is made clear to us, we don't understand the domain to bring that math ourselves. But once that math is made clear to us, implementing the pipeline to compute this on an everyday basis such that you have an idea about every end customer every single day, the latest idea about that person, that is an engineering problem that we solve very simply on our platform. I hope that made sense.
So, like, just throwing an idea over here, like, do you, from my understanding, do you try to understand the profile of the customer better and then help us score? Like, is that what the approach is?
Typically, so let me address this. This is Venkat, also from Scribble Data. Sandhya, we work very closely with the data science and the data platform teams of our customers. So we have some prior experience from fintech and other domains ourselves, but generally we defer to the expertise and the preferences that our customers have. So we do make recommendations like, look, these kinds of features actually will tend to be very useful and so on, but we stop there. Typically the data scientist of our customers is in the driving seat.
Understood. Okay. Thank you, Indra.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions?
Great. I think we have time for one last question if anyone wants to jump the gun. What geographies you are currently working in?
So we have customers in India, in Africa, in the Netherlands, in the US. And we are looking, as a company, we are expanding towards North America in a significant way this year. We are just in the process of closing our pre-Series A round. Looking at the US as a significant market this year.
That's amazing. I think we can move ahead if there are no further questions. So Thanks a lot, Indra. Thanks a lot, Venkat, as well for joining us. With that, I will like to move ahead with our fifth presentation, that is with One Money. And we already have Mahindra online. Hi, Mahindra. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Am I audible?
Yes, Mahindra, you are audible. Thanks a lot, Indra. Mahindra, over to you. Indra, I think I am having some questions on the chat box, which I guess you and Venkat can take care from on the chat box itself. And Mahindra, we can go ahead with you and You have briefly 10 minutes followed by a Q&A round. So over to you, Mahindra. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Sumit. Good evening, everybody. My name is Mahindra. I'm representing One Money. We are also a hybrid social fintech startup offering micro financial services as well as micro banking services for lower and mid income and bottom of pyramid people. So we have come here with the intention of digitizing everybody, even without having a bank account and smartphone. And in brief, we can be termed as MasterCard for masses. What does the term MasterCard for masses exactly mean? Yes, it so happened one day wherein I had to transfer a salary of my domestic wage. Although she owned a Jantan account, she preferred having cash. When I questioned her why, she explained me her plight inside a bank. To deposit her money, she'll have to fill in the challan, which she is not comfortable with. To withdraw her money, she'll again have to fill in a check or withdrawal slip, for which she is not comfortable with. And the helplessness that was existing inside the bank uh, actually made her to get completely frustrated out of this entire banking services, and she just gave up on her bank account on the whole. And now she has kept her bank account only to receive the DBT transfers. So this kind of an inconvenience is the main reason for her to realize that cash is still a king, and digital banking is all completely out of her reach. And apart from that, today you might have come across several news stating that UPI transactions are all-time high in billions. Among whom? It's only among the classes who have an active bank account and smartphone, not with the masses. So apart from that, today banking comes with various charges like ATM withdrawal charges, debit card charges, minimum balance maintenance, SMS charges, and all these charges. So these charges are actually burdening the lower and mid income and bottom of pyramid people, wherein even the smallest earnings of what they would have maintained in their account would and those smallest savings getting automatically debited out of their account is actually posing a very grievous threat to for their minimal earnings. So these kind of charges are also discouraging lower and mid income people to actually have an active bank account. And today digitization is only limited with the people who are having active bank account or who can afford for a smartphone. How about a person who doesn't have a smartphone? So to overcome this challenge, we wanted to digitize a person even without having a bank account or else a smartphone or else a debit card. So what we did, we made all the identity cards like Aadhaar card, PAN card, and voter IDs alternative to cash, credit, and debit cards, and smartphones alternative to POS machines, so that even without having a bank account or else a smartphone, people are digitized, especially the lower and mid income and bottom of pyramid people. So for this kind of a product, who are the competitors? As you know, all the biggies out there who are they're already established in the market, like a debit card and credit card holders, credit card service providers are our primary competitors. Secondary competitors are payment gateways as well as wallets and payment aggregators. And third competitors are POS service providers. So these are the biggest competition for this kind of a product. To compete against these biggies, we have aligned our product in such a way that our product functions with and without smartphone, with and without cards, with and without internet, with and without smartphones, with and without passwords as well. So this is how we have aligned our product. So for this kind of a product and this kind of a competition, what is the market? So we have identified transportation department, that is the urban transportation department as our primary market. So although there are so many pays out there, this pay, that pay, here pay, and there pay, not even a single pay has penetrated a transportation market, wherein 400 million people travel every day. So here what a person can do is he can use his own identity card alternative to tickets and passes inside buses, wherein he can just recharge his identity card, get into the bus and show his identity card to the conductor so that the conductor can scan the identity card via smartphone. And once the transaction has been pushed to the server, the transactions are executed. This is as simple as this. So this is a primary market what we have identified, and the secondary market are the people who have been burdened with transaction charges, POS rentals, debit card charges, as well as all the allied charges that the bankers are posing upon the customers. So this is a secondary market. So for this kind of a market and this kind of a product and this kind of a competition, what is the revenue what we are deriving? So unlike our competitors, we are not charging any percentage based charges. We are charging 1 rupee per transaction, irrespective of value and volume of transactions. And apart from that, we are just deriving revenues out of advertisements, e-commerce affiliation, and interest on float, whatever the interest, whatever the deposits that's been maintained in the nodal or escrow account. And apart from that, we are even generating revenues out of FLDG model, wherein we have a tab with several cooperatives as well as several microfinance institutions. And apart from that, we even derive revenues out of upselling and cross-selling of products and services of third-party market players. So what is the go-to-market strategy? So as the screen itself shows, we have already have the tie-up with the APSRTC as well as TSRTC, that is Telangana as well as Andhra Pradesh. So wherein people who travel in these buses, who are usually the lower and mid-income people, can just make their use their identity cards itself as an alternative to tickets and passes to travel inside these buses, so that these people are digitized in the very basic manner. So this is the go-to-market strategy what we have come up with. As you know, as the statistics say, Andhra Pradesh is currently catering 65 lakh people per day in their buses, and Telangana's transportation department is catering close to around 45 lakh people per day. So this is a go-to-market strategy, and the TAM is and the SOM is 10 lakh people what we are planning to acquire within 2021. So here we are here for the investment raise. So if it is a equity based investment, we are planning to raise 2 crores, and if it is a debt based investment, we are planning to raise 20 crores. So we are currently valued at 30 crore valuation, and we will be in a position to offer the equity somewhere around close to 5 to 7% for the equity based investments. And out of the equity based investments, we will be able to extend our services to other routes of Hyderabad. So currently we are serving in the route number 16 as well as all the airport buses flying from Hyderabad to airport. So with this kind of an investment, we will be able to have the customer base of 5 lakh, and we'll be able to launch the contactless payments in Chennai as well as Vijayawada. And apart from that, we'll be able to facilitate micro loans to 500 street vendors who have been there, severely affected with the pandemic. And this FLDG model is purely based on whatever the PM Swanidhi scheme that has been facilitated for the lower and mid income and street fruit sellers and vegetable sellers. So the KPIs are like this. The CAC is 72 rupees out of the total, expenses what we are planning to do on acquiring a customer, and the CAC as well as LTV ratio is 18:6,625, which is having a huge impact on our IRR. So we'll be able to give the returns to investors based on 3 to 5 years of term period with 20 to 30% percentage of returns on investment per year. So we are even planning to give the exit to investors based on IPO or else growth stage merger and acquisition. So this is a team. So we all 4 founders come with more than a decade of experience in banking and financial services field. So I personally have worked in several as a branch manager as well as operations manager in several cooperatives as well as NBFCs. So I come with 14 years of experience in BFSI industry. I'm currently the incubator of IIM Lucknow, and I have a diversified knowledge of regulatory framework with respect to payments and settlements, legalities that is involved in the regular payments fintech circle. And I even come with a diversified knowledge of the front end as well as back end managements of payments and settlements. Tejaswini comes with more than a decade of experience in microfinance as well as women self-help group loans management. So she is having a special expertise in customer profiling, audit, and administration management, and she is a key person who is handling the entire financial affairs of the organization. Shashank, as he comes with 15 years of experience in banking as well as financial services software, as well as customization of financial software and services. So he's a key person who was able to design this product to bring it to the market, and he has working experience with Accenture as well as Oracle Financial Software and Services. So Sunil comes with 18 years of experience.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mahindra.
Yeah.
We can stay on this slide, and if you want, we can directly jump on the questions in case if that was the last slide.
Yes. So that is the last slide. Yes. So here we are here for any banks or any third-party service providers for APIs, and we are looking forward for similar kind of a startup who is working towards insurance. So we are even here who can add some value to this product. So if there is some startup, you can just directly ping me. So yes, that we are just looking forward to raise the investment out of this meeting. Yes, I'm open for questions and queries.
That's really amazing, Mahindra. And I guess Sukhinder already has a question for you, and he says that is it a closed loop wallet? And
it is not a closed loop wallet.
Okay. It's an open loop wallet, right?
Yes. It functions on other enabled payment system.
Okay. AEPS.
Yes.
That's really amazing. And if I have to just understand a bit, if you can just help us understand what are your close competitors around here?
Visa and MasterCard.
Okay. And with that, I guess I'll wait for some other questions on the chat box, and if any of the audience wants to jump in.
Just go into any of the bus stops, give your money, recharge your identity card. It's as simple as that. So that is how you load, the money into your card. Okay. And one can check the balance by, either asking the person who is there in the bus stop, just like how you check your balance in the metro cards. So in a similar way, even you can just check the, balances in your identity card.
Okay. That's a really amazing and interesting product when it comes to majorly financial inclusion in a couple of tier 2 and tier 3 cities of India. And with the whole digital India agenda, let's hope that this thing quite quickly picks up.
Sure.
With that, I think if there is no further questions, then I would like to move ahead with our presentations. And the sixth one for the day is Vidurpay, and we already have Sagar from Vidurpay who is online. Hi Sagar, are you there?
Yes, hi Sumit. Hi.
Hi Sagar, everyone. It's great to reconnect as well once again. And I'll hand you over the mic, and you have been listening to other presentations, so you briefly have 10 minutes followed by Q&A.
Sure.
Great.
I just share my screen. Just let me know if you can see that.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Awesome. Okay, so I'll quickly start. So basically, what we are essentially working on is something around wearable devices, which can become digital identity for people as well as enable payments. So I was listening to the earlier presentation. It's somehow similar on the digital identity piece, wherein I'm using a wearable device to really help people make tap and pay payments. And of course, multiple other use cases I'll cover it later on. So just to put things into perspective, recently RBI increased so firstly contactless payments. The earlier limit for contactless payments, up to which there was a limit of 2,000, up to which you didn't have to enter the PIN at the POS terminals. Now that limit is increased to 5,000 recently, a couple of quarters back by RBI. And on the infrastructure side, a lot of point of sale terminals are now equipped with contactless payments as well. So just to go to show that the market is now ready in terms of the infrastructure, the regulator, and the ecosystem players as well. And of course, needless to say, contactless payments are the next wave of payments for India, and I believe wearables would be one of the core front leading devices to really have those things implemented. So this is what the product basically looks like. If you see on the left hand side, it's a small device which can attach itself on the straps of the watches like this, right? It's a low cost device which has a NFC component, which will store the card details as well as the digital identity component of a customer. So that can be for instance, a mobile number or some unique identifier like Aadhaar ID. There's a integration with NCMC, that is National Common Mobility Card as well. That wallet also will be implemented on this along with RuPay. So this will essentially become a use case on your retail payments, your metro or bus or other transit systems where NCMC is live. And of course, with this unique mobile number which I'm inscribing on the device, it will help the consumers to identify themselves at various places. For instance, in Shopper Stop, let's say I am a part of their loyalty program called First Citizen. I can actually go ahead and tap at a place inside the outlet, inside the Shopper Stop store, and Shopper Stop can actually identify that a loyal customer has walked in, and it can actually open up the store for a lot of in-store campaigns for me, right? And similar other use cases can be implemented using this. So essentially, the flow of transaction is very similar to what happens with a debit card, or when you do tap and pay with a debit card or credit card. the transaction flow is pretty similar. Just that there will be a bank account or a wallet which can be integrated with this particular device. In terms of ecosystem players, these are the ones which are already working on something like this. On the card piece, just that I'm getting that entire thing on a wallet with a device linked, which you can wear on your wrist, for that matter. So the core problem has been around the cost, right? For instance, SBI has recently come up with Titan Pay. This was also on the variable payments, but then the minimum device price or the cost is around 3.5 to 4K and upwards. And similarly, Axis Bank has launched something called as Wear and Pay, which is a similar device to what we are working on, but then it is mainly focused towards the payments. So it's an alternative card for Axis Bank current users, right? So while the scope and positioning in my case is fairly different than what these banks have proposed, I am kind of targeting it as a digital entity which can actually help you make payments. And of course, multiple other use cases which I spoke about. Ideally, the target segment is 15 to 35 or 15 to 40 kind of age group, including Gen Zs, millennials, first jobbers, and people who are actually tech savvy. And obviously the geographical segmentation is around tier 1, tier 2 metro cities and towns, and that's the market that we are looking at, right? Typically, our approach would be on B2B institutional partnership side rather than a B2C approach, and hence the institutional partnerships with campuses or corporates would be of quintessential importance for us. So in our current engagement with a few campuses in Mumbai, we have got a very good interest from the people. So we are in the current stage of building the prototype and kind of rolling it out for initial set of users, and then probably we'll give it a launch. So we are in the prototyping and development stage, and the certifications with NPC are actually going on. Right. So if you see the competitive landscape in India, SBI is there, Axis is there, but again, these are around they being alternative cards for the existing set of users. So while my product is more of open market for everyone, it's a open loop wallet, and players like Goku and other fitness brands, they're also trying to work something around this. They're already doing some POCs around this, but then again, their customer base is very niche, and it's not a mass product for that matter. So so revenue, again, there will be a device cost as well as a interchange fee that we'll be earning on. Going forward, there will be multiple other use cases on NCMC and proximity marketing, digital lending, and BEPS that is something which is planned in phase 2 and phase 3 once we have substantial base on our platform. So I mean, just to give a high level numbers, we are looking at these numbers more from the perspective of longevity, the LTV to CAC ratio being a critical one. I believe we would be anyways between 3 to 4 in that sense. What we actually understand, the top few cash burns would be around technology, marketing, promotions, and apart from the administrative expenses, there would be hardware costs as well. So these would comprise the top cash burns for us. This is the core team. Myself, I have more than a decade experience in tech, telecom, BFSI, and driving such large projects. I have my colleague also, Anirudh, who is from the financial services background, and he'll be managing the partnerships and marketing. And Mr. Gupta, he's actually my father. He's actually has a lot of experience around legal and finance functions. He's on the board of Rolta and another published company. So essentially we have a strong backing from that perspective in our team. This slide just gives a overall picture on what all things are implemented globally in this space. I mean, India is just starting. I think the potential is huge in India. So that's more about the presentation. I think I'll get a slide which can give you a good insight of that, and I'm open to queries.
Thanks a lot, Sagar, for this amazing presentation. And I think I already had a question which you already answered during the presentation itself in terms of majorly competitive analysis around how Samsung Pay and Apple Pay integrating the payments on their smartwatches itself.
Yeah.
Which I guess you already answered based on the price point itself is a major difference out here.
Yeah, true.
The device price point itself is a major question.
Yeah.
So let's do one thing. Let's wait for a minute in case if any of the audience has any questions, or else we can move ahead. And you can stay back, and if the audience posts the questions on the chat box, then you can take it ahead. I guess we can move ahead, Sagar. There are no further questions which I'm seeing on the audience side. So I would like to introduce once again, thank you so much, Sagar, for joining us today. And we have one more payments company, and that is Yuvapay, and we have Prashanth joining in from Yuvapay. Thanks a lot, Prashanth, for joining in today. Over to you, Prashanth. You have 10 minutes followed by a question and answer.
Thanks, Sumit, for the brief introduction. Very good evening, everyone. Myself, Prashanth. I'm the founder at Yuvapay. And we are actually the new banking platform for the unconnected and unbanked population. So like currently what exactly happening, so banking is becoming a human right. Like it's the accessibility, it's a human right. But if you look at the global scenario, still half a percent of the population, like 50% of the population, they do not have a connectivity, and almost 20% of the population do not have a banking services. So like they do not have access for the banking services. And what are the major reasons like infrastructure part, like if the bank want to reach the last mile, of course, they need to put a lot of cost on physical presence, operational cost. And to overcome these challenges, most of the banking institutions, they have introduced a mobile banking solution, but it need internet, and also it need a smartphone. And without smartphone and without internet, nobody works. So that is exactly the scenario, like the financial inclusion is need of the hour, and it need a solution where even people who do not have internet, do not have a smartphone, they can enable the basic banking services in a single platform. That is exactly Yuvapay pitching, where we having a fantastic platform, technology-driven platform where people can access the basic financial services, including payment, collections, and even micro savings account, micro insurance account, and even micro credit facilities. Even all these services can be enabled in a single platform and even without internet connectivity. Okay, and this is exactly the solution, because the technology we have, this is a patent pending. So like in our platform, people can open Insta savings account. It is a micro savings account with a cap of 1 lakh rupees, and they can save the money in the system, and even they can move the money from savings account to the fixed deposit and recurring deposit, where they will earn the interest on every transaction. And also we provide a micro credit for a merchant base. That is exactly the people who are using our business application on the base of this transaction. We are giving a instant credit for them. So again, like the instant the credit will be repaid on a daily basis. It's a 100 days credit system model for enabled for a merchant base. And also we have enabled the pocket insurance, where the premium is very low, like it's $1 to $3, and the coverage is between 100,000 to 10,000 to 20,000. And also we having a collections solution, where even any human intervention, people can make a payment from the last mile, and even the B2B clients, they can collect the customer payment from the customers even without any operational cost. So like we are already having a payment and collections, like we already having the semi-closed wallet and UPI players and even payment gateway players. Adding to that, now we are adding multiple banking services for the customers. So this is exactly the solution for a rural market, not only for India, but also we are going in the global market. And also one of the huge, we also enabled one of the AI technology in the customer onboarding part, where it will identify the real user. Using our AI bot technology, it will detect the right person while doing the transaction. It will detect the frauds, and because when the digital is going, of course, there's a fraud will be there. So using our AI technology, we can prevent the frauds, and also we can reduce the risk of the hacking the data and even the transaction data part. And of course, Yuvapay helps to reach and connect billions population, and we are planning to have a virtual bank for a global market. And as I said, we have a right technology right now, but using our technology, we are enabling multiple services and even one-time registration. We need internet and KYC part, and post that all the services can be enabled even without depending on internet and supporting both smartphone and feature phone. And this is the competitive landscape. There is many players in the market. Like one is full stack neobank, and full stack neobank is nothing but they are the license player, and there is a front end focused neobank. Like they are the platform provider, and they will enable multiple bank, and they will extend the banking services for our customers. But what exactly the difference here? Like everyone need internet, everyone needs smartphone, everyone targeted for the blue column, the region, and I think that till now they have covered only 20% of the market. But how the Yuvapay is different from the existing solution? Like we have a technology, we are having a patent pending technology. Using our data compression protocol, we can communicate the real-time transaction with any kind of transaction where we don't need internet, and also even application mobile app also it works. And as I said, we are targeting for lower and middle income groups from the grassroots level, and we have a potential to cover at least 50% of the global market that we are already targeting the emerging countries like Africa and even the Southeast Asian market. And this is exactly how the Yuvapay works. We have a solution for both smartphone, feature phone. The smartphone people can download the application from the Play Store. They can, once they downloaded, once they done the KYC part, the virtual card will be enabled, and he can set up a rule for all the transaction, and he can make a payment for any kind of even peer-to-peer and even peer-to-merchant and even C2G payment. And in the case of the same thing, like for merchant also, we having enabled them business application. It is the same where people download the application and they can do on-time registration. But for the people who do not have the smartphone, they can do using our IVR technology. They can do a one-time registration. They can link their bank account, and also we are enabling the prepaid card for them. And using our solution, they can use the platform for even peer-to-peer and peer-to-merchant, and also for C2G payment here. And of course, we are having a multiple B2B use case, because currently we are closely working with e-governance department. We help them in collection of last mile tax payment, especially in Karnataka and Maharashtra and Odisha. And also we having option like we can enable our solution for banking institute where they want to reach the last mile customers, and they want to serve the customers by providing multiple services. And also we can integrate our solution for even e-commerce where we can replace cash on delivery, and likewise the merchant base. And also we having a multiple collection solution where we can help any kind of B2B clients in last mile collection and payment part. Okay, it's like a remote collection will happen with our providing our using our ERP solution. And we recently did a pilot with the RBI sandbox regarding our the virtual prepaid card, and we are the global first player where bank-to-bank transaction and even prepaid card to card and wallet and even QR code works even without internet connectivity. And during the sandbox, we adopted 5 villages in Karnataka, in the coastal Karnataka, where we onboarded 5,000 users, and we did almost $400,000 value transaction. So this is one of the huge advantage, because we recently partnered with the Visa and even the Bank card, and Visa is enabled the card-to-card solution, and we are going to expand this solution for global market. And this is exactly the growth we saw, because we launched this our solution in November 2019, and looking at that, we're having a platform revenue somewhere like 10 million right now, and we have onboard almost 170,000 households, and average transaction getting almost somewhere like $40+, and average earning revenue we are coming from every household is somewhere like nearly $2. And till now we have accumulated almost $128,000 as a revenue model, and we are having a MRR somewhere like it's $25,000 right now, and our monthly burn is very less, it is $10,000. And of course, currently having 170,000 users, we are having a monthly platform revenue for almost 25,000, and we are planning for next 1 million users onboarded in the platform, and we are expecting the same $1.8 as a revenue model for 1 million, and it is like we are expecting $180,000 as a MRR for next 1 year. And the acquisition channel, so we having organic growth because we are going with the B2B2C model, and our customer acquisition cost is very low. And it is like we are market is a grassroots like rural market tied to below cities, and the customer base is coming from the word to mouth. And also international market, we are going with the B2B2C. It is a licensing model. Currently, we are already approached the 5 banks in global, especially Morocco, Senegal, Djibouti, Nigeria, and Zambia, and Philippines. We are closing a deal with 5 banks where we are licensing our technology. It is a one-time set of cost and for transaction revenue. And it is again with our global partnership and even with our international affiliates where we are targeting Africa, APAC, and even MENA region. Where we licensing our Reddi technology, it will reduce their go-to-market by 2 to 3 months, and they can launch the solution to the market immediately. And this is exactly the platform, because we are currently in the payment collections, prepaid card and micro savings, and also micro insurance. And also we are in talk we are planning to have our own NBFC license. And with this, we want to serve our customer base. And also we have developed our own civil scoring system. And on the base of the civil score, we are understanding the customer spending pattern. And in future, we are enabling the credit card for last mile population. And also for international market, there's international remittance is required, cross-border payment, and also we are enabling the same partnership with the international plans. And we're having a strong partnership with S Bank, IndusInd Bank, and even ICICI international partner like Visa. And of course, we are closely working with NPC on the UPI offline part, and we are already developed the prototype, and we are awaiting the approval from the NPCA for UPI. Even without internet, also people can do inter and intra-bank transaction. And also we're having a global estate from US and Germany, and we're having a payment the partnership with the e-governance Karnataka, where we're helping them in onboarding almost 6,000 gram panchayat completely cashless. And now we already raised $500,000 and recently, and now we are looking for 10 million as a series round. And of course, that is for exactly the NBFC license we are planning to onboard, and also global expansion and the customer acquisition and branding expansion part. Because this in the rural market, the digital market won't work. Of course, we need to go with the offline marketing system. And of course, for the international marketing, it is a banking licenseship partnership, and also we can give a white label solution for the existing fintech companies. We are having an offline switch. Using their offline switch, they can reach the last mile population here. And we're having a fantastic team, like we have a 23 plus team members, and also international advisors from Germany, US, and also even from the UAE part. And we have raised somewhere like nearly 1 million round in the last 1 year. And using this fund, we have grown almost 50 times from the initial pilot, the initial launch. And of course, now we are growing drastically, like 20% month-on-month growth is happening. Of course, we're having a strategic investor, Martin Tobias from the US part, and he has invested in multiple serial entrepreneur, and he has invested in multiple companies. And even Anand Kadkol is a consultant for Rack Bank, and he's our business, the banking consultant for UAE market. And Animesh Jha is the senior the director for FICO, and with help of Animesh Jha, we are building our own credit core and anti-fraud detection model in our platform. So this is all about Yuvapay. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much, Prashanth. So what I'll do is let's wait for a minute. I guess I have time for only one detailed question, or maybe like 2 short questions. So if any of the audience members would like to throw any questions, that would be amazing. In the meantime, just to inform you, so we recently got connected with some other player who is some other technology player who is majorly helping banks, financial services in last mile customer delivery. So I think that's something we would also be love to introduce you to that player, and whatever collaboration is possible with them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's amazing. So I guess with further, I would like to thank you, and we can move ahead with the next set of presentation. We have 3 more to go, and that's I would like to introduce PayCrunch, and Aman from PayCrunch is here. Hi Aman, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, hey Sumit, I can hear you.
Hi Aman. Thank you so much for joining us today, and without further ado, I will hand you over the mic. You have briefly 10 minutes followed by a question and answer. So over to you, Aman.
Yeah, so I'll share my screen. Just let me know if
Yes, you can share your screen and we can see your screen.
Great. Sure. So
Great.
I'll start.
Thank you.
So, good evening, everyone. This is Aman, founder at PayCrunch. So, what is PayCrunch in brief? So, at PayCrunch, we are building a UPI-based credit platform, especially for college students. So, let's start with the problem statement which we faced and which we saw, and we started working on that. Let me just screen. Yeah. So basically, every time we all are from some colleges, and we all have faced this issue during our college life when we have no money, and we have lots to do, lot to spend. We need money for our daily groceries or daily to go out with friends. So this was a problem that I faced during my college, and we did some surveys, and we know okay, this is a problem which is faced by a lot of students during their college life. Second things, when we started facing an issue, there are a lot of companies started coming in. I'll talk about them also. So second thing, so there's so many companies started coming in, and they started providing maybe loans to student in their Paytm wallets or something like into their bank accounts, and which is the one thing which we found wrong, because now you're letting student use the money as a you are liquefying the money for them, and you are allowing them to use the money as cash, and which is completely wrong. So what we came up with is let's build a point of sale based system for them, so that what we can do is we can make sure that all the money they are spending, all the money they are doing is a POS based. We can manage where they're spending and everything. So what we thought was let's build a UPI based credit system for all students, where we can see which will be POS based. And as everyone knows about UPI, so they'll have a even more trust on credits, as like whenever it comes to credit, people take a step back. So what we want was key to people will trust us, people will trust you. Okay, and now you can use credits, and it is very simple as it is. You just have to create a just UPI ID. So the last problem which we saw was as there are a lot of companies coming in for student lending, and the only problem they're facing is delay in repayments by the students, which is like as they have ability to pay, but they don't have intentions to pay. That's why they won't pay, and we are trying to solve that too. So yeah, so basically the market which we are targeting is of college students as initially, and which is a market size of 40 million plus students. And right now there's less than 5% of market which is being targeted, not even being catered. So what we are trying to do is our aim is to like at least grab 15 to 10 to 15% of market by the 2025. So what are we proposing here? So basically, as I told you, we are a point of sale based system, with the point of sale be based on UPI. So how the applications work, how do we work? So once you then come on board to our platform, they just have to download the application. They can come on board with a simple two-factor authentication, and they are on board with the Google verification or with the phone number verification. Once the part is done, the second part comes for is the digital KYC process. So for the digital KYC process, we take the in general documents which are required: Aadhaar, PAN, their college ID, and everything. Once that part gets done, the third part comes is for the credibility check. So now here the part comes. So now, as we know, like for most of the students, there's no CIBIL score, there's no Equifax, or there's no credit score exist for them because they don't have enough financial history available and they are not salaried yet. So here the problem, here the second problem started, which we are solving. So basically what we are doing is we are building an alternative credit score for them on the basis of various factors, which include social media, their social media profile links, their contacts, their SMSs data, and a lot of data which we are using to build our alternative credit scoring. On the basis of that, we judge a risk factor involved in that particular users. And then according to that, we provide the line. So now the sign up process is done, digital KYC process is done, the credibility check is done, which is done by our own algorithms, no external factors. Now the part comes where we go for the eNACH services to connect their bank accounts for the timely repayments. And the last part comes is where we partner with ICICI Bank. I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, Aman, we can hear you. Please go ahead. Continue.
Great. So for that particular UPI thing which we are building, so we are partnered with ICICI Bank for them. So how that works is, so let it be Sumit is a user of PayCrunch. So he comes on board, he goes through all the process, and he gets approved. So what he gets in return is he gets a UPI ID which will look something like sumit.paycrunch@OKICICI. So now this UPI ID works as a virtual credit card for you. Now you don't have to carry your plastic cards everywhere. You just use this. You can go to any store, any shop, any restaurant, wherever the UPI QR code is available. You can go there, just scan the QR code, and that's it. Your payment will be done. So now, along with that, we provide the sort of PFM structure also to the students so that they can analyze where they're spending, where they can save and everything. And on that savings, we provide them rewards. So now, as I talked about, like there are a lot of issues going on with the timely repayments by students. So to take care of that, we are building a loyalty and reward-based program for them, especially for them. And for that, we are partnering with various brands, which students go to, some fashion brands, cosmetic brands, coffee brands, and something like that. So to build that, so that is the problem we're trying to solve, because the market we are capture is Gen Z, and they are completely promo driven market. So what we wanted to do was to create some system, create loyalty programs where they'll be incentivized in a right way so that they'll repay on time. A general example, a student which is like, maybe they are from I'm from VIT Vellore, so let's take I am a student of VIT Vellore. So I go to some place in Bangalore, and there's a wait list of 40 to 50 minutes for that particular restaurant, but I don't want to wait. Now, just because you're a member of PayCrunch Premium, you don't only get to use credit, you also get to get into that particular restaurant as a priority pass. Now, that instant gratification what a student gets, it's everything for them. We did some surveys, we are doing some trials, and people are loving it right now. So that's how we are trying to affect their behavior a little bit. So basically, as I told you, there's authentication check, eligibility check, and then the approval of credits. For one side, we are partnered with NBFC, who is backing us for the licensing and capital. And another thing, we have shops with the UPI QR codes, and on the other side, we have our application users who will be using it for their own purpose. Sign up process, I've told you that little bit of prototypes, how the application look like. Let's move ahead. So currently what we are doing is we have started a waitlist program on our website. So you can see www.paycrunch.in. So what you can see is there's a simple email ID what you have to enter. So through that email IDs and through communication with those particular students, we are trying to build a community. And till now we have gotten a 2,000 plus people in waitlist program. And right now we are doing a beta testing with 100 to 150 students. So now what we are trying to do is we are not trying to sell our product just as a credit product. The aim of PayCrunch is to sell the product as a lifestyle product. So what we are doing is we are partnering with various national student bodies and clubs and chapters where students are involved in, such as under 25 and places like that. So that once we are going to them, they'll not feel like they're getting a loan from some bank or they're getting a loan from some application. It'll look like they're using it for a particular lifestyle purpose. They're using it to go to their favorite restaurant, but they're not using it to get a loan. So that's how we are trying to target. We are going in places Bangalore, and as VIT Vellore was my college, so we are going for there. So from that, we have partnered with various colleges, we have partnered with various clubs and chapters there through which we are approaching our customers. To the next slide. So currently as I told you, ICICI is working as a banking partner for us. AWS in general, we are using the databases. Cashly is working as for the payment gateways, Hyperwatch for the digital KYC, and Kudos is our backed NBFC. Recently, we got selected and also got published by 1,000 startups as being one of the innovative startups who are bringing credits for the people who are unbanked and don't have enough financial data available. Also, through our college, we are backed by Nidhi Prayas, through which we have got some grants and are now looking for capital. So currently, as I told you, there are a lot of people in market who are coming for the student market. So majorly, there are a lot of other competitions also, but majorly going for Slice and Crazy Bee. So basically, as I told you, we are going for especially UPI-based lending, which gives us a little bit leverage where we can make sure that people will have a trust and people will be able to use credit in a single way. So what these other applications do is they let you transfer the money to your Paytm account. Now you have to use two applications for a single transaction. You have to transfer the money to your Paytm and then use. Second of all, company doesn't get any sort of spending data from here. They don't know where students is spending the money. And if we don't know how we can build a better credit models for them in the future. Then third of all, now it's a completely user distortion. You have to use one application, other application. From PayCrunch, you have to use only one application where you have all the credits and also it work as your payment application, not any other application which you have to use. Buy now pay later application which everyone is doing. One app streamline process, as I told you, we are the one line streamline up process. Crazy is also doing that, but they are doing it for the EMI and they are little deviated from the market which we are going to target right now. Then we have a coin-based rewards and loyalty-based program for the students to incentivize them and to make sure that they learn credits along with just not by using credit, does not use credit, also learn credits along with the process. So the value proposition which we are going to propose to our, which we are currently proposing to our customers are, they don't require CIBIL. And another thing what they can do is they can use our platform as building their CIBIL in the earlier in their life. From the first year, from the second year of a college, you can start building your CIBIL if you are 18 plus. The second thing which we are providing is the loyalty programs and the brands rewards, which we are providing them for their better usage to learn credits. And so that we will be affect them at the psychological level so that they'll know how to use credits in future. Analyze expenses, another feature which we are providing as a PFM sort of feature. So currently the revenue stream which we are seeing is as starting with the EMI which we are charging, the late charges which we are charging for if we student want to delay some repayment but don't want it to affect on their PayCrunch score. Third, going for the targeted advertisements. In future, we have a plan of releasing our APIs to the digital platforms as a buy now pay later services. That is the futuristic commission-based model revenue stream which we are looking at. So currently, these are the three major members who are handling all the teams and working as a lead level. So I'm Aman, founder CEO at PayCrunch. So I've worked with ISIN and BDO and run some few ventures during my college. Mahindra is also, he has worked in Agora and some Dubai-based company, medical company. And Pranav is there. Pranav is handling the operations. So the market strategy, I told you, we are going to them by starting doing some campaigns, as we have already started by partnering with some clubs and chapters and doing some campaigns, some road shows with them so that we'll be attract more and more customers as we are going, especially for Gen Zs. Then we are going for especially clubs, like we are in talks with platforms like Under 25 and some platforms, ISEC and TEDx, so that we'll be able to affect more and more market because these guys have all the potential customers which we want. So it'll be great platform for us to go to target our customers. So what vision we have is, so basically what we are not only here to provide credits to students, what we are here for is to affect their credit behavior. So though we have a lot of ways to redeem money from them, but what we want here is we want them to improve their behavior so that they'll able to get credits and get more and more credits in future. And second of all, we are building a community. So we have already started building a community in Discord, as the population we are targeting is very active there. And third thing we are going for is we are starting with college students, but our model can be used for various places like tier 2, tier 3 cities where people have not enough financial data available to, or not have enough CIBIL score to get loans from banks. So we can also go for that. So currently we are doing some POCs. We are beta launched, and these are the timelines we are looking at: raising funds and launching our product and partnering with more and more financial bodies.
Hi, Aman. Sorry to interrupt you, but do you want to focus some time towards taking some audience questions?
Oh, we'll love to.
I am assuming that's the last slide, right?
Yeah, that's the last slide. I'm done.
That's great. So you can skip this slide. And I guess, Sandhya, I had a question that do you plan to keep the product only on student focused itself right now, which I guess you already mentioned. So if you want to elaborate a bit on.
Sure. So as like we have done a lot of research. We have interacted with a lot of students. So only motto all of our team has is get feedback and improve the experience of your customers. So for now we are doing it for the college students, but in later stage, after like two or 3 years, maybe we'll be going for the other market who are maybe tier 2, tier 3 cities, or all the people who don't get enough credits from banks and financial institutions.
And Praneeth asks an amazing question is, what data points do you use to access the credit worthiness of the students? And if it's based on social media profiles, and what happens when a user does not use is not using a social media platform? He's not using that account.
Yeah, so obviously I can't reveal all the data points here. And so what we can do is, so I can explain you, I can make you I can give you the satisfaction. So no, we don't only judge our users only on the basis of social medias. We understand like a lot of people who don't have enough financial, who don't have enough social posts or enough social data available. So we have a lot of data, as I mentioned before. We are taking SMS's data, what are your monthly spendings, your contacts, your geolocations, and there are a lot of data. Social media just takes a very small place in that algorithm. So that's how we judge our users, and there are more than 200 plus of data points which we are judging our student with. judging our users especially with.
That's really amazing. That's really amazing. And I think if there is no further question, then we can move ahead. So with that, thank you so much, Aman, for joining us. You can stay behind. We have 2 more presentations for the day, and so with that, I will like to introduce Sanket from Minkspay. Hi, Sanket. How are you?
Hey, Sumit. Hi. I'm
Hi.
good. Yes.
Thanks a lot for joining in today. I will let you take over the mic and let you introduce yourself and about Minkspay. You have briefly 10 minutes for the pitch, and followed by we can take the question and answer. So over to you, Sanket.
Sure. Yes. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So just to give you a brief about Minkspay, we have been very much focused on how do we solve instant access to short-term credit for smaller retailers, and how do we ensure that they no more have working capital problems for them. So as we have seen that there are hundreds of SME lending apps in India which has been trying to solve this problem for a very long time, but we were pretty clear in our mind we don't want to be a Me Too product in this space. And that's when we started diving deep into what is a core problem and what is that problem what we can solve with a first principle approach or in a very different way, right? And that's when we try to deep dive into what is this problem all about. So any Kirana store owner who is staying in tier 2, tier 3 town, specifically an example here is Prakash, who has been working with us for a while. He runs a Kirana store and he has his existing store, and he has seen 40 to 50% spike in his demand post-pandemic because everyone started procuring more goods from him. But distributors of Unilever, Britannia, Parle, and number of FMCG companies used to give him a credit period of 2 weeks or 3 weeks or more than that. But that entire credit period has come down to less than 10 days or less than 7 days in most of the cases. And this problem has actually created his working capital crunch in his day-to-day life. And this problem is because distributors always wanted to move away from credit because credit isn't their core business, distribution is their core business. And they always felt working capital shortage and the delayed collections because they always have to pay advance payment to all their CPG companies or consumer product companies. And that is when we realized, why cannot a distributors offer all these things? And that's when we realized distributors perform a very important role in the Indian market today of all CPG companies or consumer product companies. And they drive sales on the field. They ensure that there is a flexible credit to the unbanked or smaller retailers, which is given to them along with the invoice. And there is a last mile delivery and logistic what they take care of. And these are the set of traditional distributors and wholesalers who account for 90% of trade volumes in India. And our solution was designed in mind to solve their biggest pain point, that is a credit gap and payment collections. Because as we are aware that the new age distribution companies like Jumbotail, Metro Wholesale, Udaan have been able to solve this problem for 1 million or 1.5 million retailers whom they serve. But if you see the kind of distributors and wholesalers, they serve like maybe 10 times larger market than them. That is, they serve 15 million retailers across India. And this is one of the reasons why we realized it's a massive market and more than $200 billion credit gap. We don't have a right set of plug and play credit and payment stack built for these offline distributors. We do have a plug and play credit facility, which is available at the checkout page on Jumbotail or Shop Kirana or Udaan, but that isn't available for smaller distributors in India. And that is when we realized, why is this happening and why our lenders are unable to fill in this gap, right? Or a number of SME lending apps are unable to solve this problem. And that is when we realized there is no categorization of SMEs what these NBFCs and financial institutions has been able to do. But we fundamentally believe that SME as a category is further divided into 3 layers. One is above 50 crore annual turnover, second is 1 crore to 50 crore, and third is less than 1 crore or less than 50 lakh rupees of annual turnover, who don't even have proper GST number, bank statement, and balance sheet and a number of these data points. And that creates a second problem is how do you underwrite them as a financial institution? Because they don't even have a credit score and any other data points like bank statement. And that is when we realized, even if they are able to underwrite them, a very commonly used product here is working capital loan in the form of term loan for 6 months, 18 months, 12 months. And in spite of knowing that retailer isn't a salaried person to keep paying EMIs, he is forced to get these kind of products from these SME lending apps for a business loan and working capital loan. And that is when we realized the lack of customization is there in terms of the product or short-term working capital credit. And that is when we realized our thesis has to solve for distributors' existing problems and retailers' existing problems. That is, how do we lower the cash collection cost for distributors, reduce the working capital requirement for distributors, and ensure that distributors who are only offering credit to 20 or 30% of their retailer base, how can they also offer credit to remaining 60 or 70% of the retailer base whom they only give or serve on cash and carry mode? And on the retailer side, as we know that access to first time formal credit is something very important for them with this kind of product, and low cost and formal credits enables them to come into this formal credit ecosystem and increase their business with a seamless access to this working capital solution what we have built, right? And when we are building the solution, we were very clear in our mind, we don't want to become lenders on our own. And that is when we realized we have to build this platform like an aggregator to bring distributors of consumer product companies or FMCG companies on our platform, lenders and retailers. Let me give you a real example here, right? And what we realized is this entire problem can only be solved if we build a win-win solution for all three of them. And what is this win-win solution? Is can we enable distributor to singularly focus on distribution rather than credit? Second is, can we help them to increase their top line by focusing on distribution as a business, because their average order size can increase because of credit from the retailer's perspective. And the tech advantage of plug and play credit and payment stack can fundamentally change the way how they are interacting with their retailers in terms of credit and taking more average order size. And lenders on other side, we realize that they cannot go in the market and acquire these small retailers for extremely small ticket size. And this is when we realized a real example here, what we have been able to build is like this, right? Let's say you are a Unilever distributor today and you are serving 1,000 retailers in your particular geography. What happens is you as a distributor have been able to only offer credit to 30% of your retailer base. And that credit is also not sufficient for the existing retailers whom you are offering this credit. Forget about the underserved market of remaining 70% what you are serving. And that is when we realized, can we help these distributors to come on our platform and use Minkspay to start sending digital copy of invoices by actually giving them option to send invoices. And the option what we have been able to build here is as simple as like this, right? So I'm just trying to share my screen. Okay, so the way how we have been able to build this solution here is there is a distributor who tries to connect with his accounting system, and our system automatically connects with his accounting system, and he can use Minkspay to start sending digital copy of invoices. And retailer on the other side can use our mobile app to actually click on pay now and pay later. And all this facility seamlessly works with their existing relationship. And the way how we give them credit is by underwriting these retailers on an alternative data by extracting the data from distributor system for last 12 to 15 months to understand their repayment behavior and their purchasing behavior to underwrite them. Because as we are aware, these smaller retailers who don't even have bank statement, like because hardly 20% of their transaction happens from the bank account and the remaining 80% of transactions still happens in the offline mode. And that is when we realized this is one of the way how we can actually offer them credit in 3 taps to the retailer. That is, they get this mobile app, they get the invoices from the distributor, because we have been able to like reduce the workload for the distributor by giving him the free of cost product, which can start enable him to start sending digital copy of invoices and get the reconciliation report at the end of the day completely free of cost, which can sync with his accounting system. And on the other side, a retailer gets this entire credit facility with a pre-approved credit, but he just has to complete the KYC to get credit against that invoice. and the credit line is a closed loop credit lines against that Britannia distributor, Unilever distributor or something, and he can only use it against that distributor. And this gives him a similar facility like a buy now pay later, which he can enjoy on Jumbotail or Udaan or any other mobile app. Now he can start using this similar facility against his traditional distributors and wholesalers whom he has been dealing with. And this is the way how we have been able to create the joy for distributors by no more sending more reminders to the retailers, no more tracking of salespersons for collections, and no more daily reconciliation, because distributor gets the payment on time, because we disburse or lender disburses the money directly to the distributor's account, thereby giving a comfort even to a lender that their money is getting utilized only for a specific use case what they are enabling this credit facility for, and not beyond particular use case, because lender doesn't disburses the money to the retailer's account here. And this is one of the advantage what helps us to automate this entire process to bring down the cost per loan to less than $1 over a period of time. And this is how we are looking at building something where we can have a view of retailers' existing cash flow with the distributors' historical data, which the existing apps in the market like BharatPay or Khatabook are only able to capture the data of 20 or 30% of the digital payment acceptance transactions and underwrite them only on those data points. And that is where we came to a point where we realized our sweet spot is more about how do we offer a buy now pay later solution for existing distributor and retailers with the kind of invoices what they can send on our platform. But we are not a typical invoice discounting or invoice financing companies like Credible, Credex or Udaan Capital, who typically targets ticket size of invoices about 2 lakh rupees. But in our case, we facilitate invoices within the range of 1,000 rupees to 1 lakh rupees. And since we are riding onto a distributor channel and utilizing that relationship and trust to acquire the retailers and retain the retailers on our platform, this helps us in a larger way to help these CPG companies to remove a lot of inefficiencies which actually consist in their supply chain with the kind of payment and credit facility what they provide and what they ask distributor to provide to their retailer. This can be completely outsourced to the facilitator like Minkspay, and we can help these multiple consumer products, specifically the FMCG brands and companies, to offer this solution to all their distributors, and we can work closely with the retailers to outsource this entire credit and payment stack to us. And this is the way how we have already gone live in 4 to 5 geographies by enabling more than 25 FMCG distributors, empowering their retailers with a buy now pay later product like this. And this is one of the way how we are able to generate revenues is we generate a platform fee from the lender on the overall interest rate being charged, because interest rate is only charged on a number of days the credit is used by the retailer and not for the entire tenure that credit line is activated for them. And this is the way how we have been able to solve this problem. Happy to know if you have any questions around this.
Great. Thank you so much, Sanket. Thanks for wrapping it up. I was just about to jump in and give you a nudge, but that's amazing that you ended that presentation on time. Let's see if any audience members has any questions. You can, as you already know, you can either unmute yourself or send your questions on the chat box below. Well, I guess so we have just one more presentation left, and I guess the audience members, let's not keep the audience further waiting here. And I will like to invite Sirish. Thank you so much, Sanket, for joining us, and you can stay back here. And I'd like to invite Sirish from Voxta. Hi, Sirish. How are you? Can you hear us?
Absolutely. Look forward to talking to you guys.
Thanks a lot. Sirish, with the since we have your presentation is last, we are already a bit overshooting on the timeline. We have further announcements regarding the FinTech OI towards the end of the session. So let's try to stick towards 10 minutes followed by question and answer. Over to you, Sirish. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So if you don't mind, I'm just 1 second just to pull something out, and then we'll be there. So essentially, Voxta does voice bots in Indian languages. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll first play a video, if you don't mind, and then we'll So I'll just share screen. Hear this?
It's still loading. We can see the screen, but the video is not yet playing. It's just a Windows file itself.
I see. Let me just see if I can.
I think instead of just sharing one window, you can share your complete screen while opening this. So when the video file is opening up, when the window changes, it won't.
Let's try that again. So. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
No, not yet.
What can you see? Can you see now?
Yes, we can see now.
Can you hear the demo?
No, the audio is not audible. Maybe you can try to give a voiceover towards the audio, like let the video play, and you can give a voiceover in terms of explaining what it's running out, and just give us a brief overview in terms of what Voxta is all about. And
I think let me just do this, because actually without the demo, the whole thing it doesn't really.
Yes.
Our whole thing is really the demo. So let me just do one final attempt at this, and after that we'll.
When you're clicking on share, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see an option for share audio as well. So you might want to try that.
I think you've got it. I think that is probably it. Let's have a look. Share screen, share sound. You've got it. Thank you, whoever that is. Very kind.
Thanks a lot.
And let's try it again time. You'll have to go through a bit of junk with me. There we go. Right. Can you hear it?
Welcome to Voxta Banking. How can I help you today?
Can you tell me if my salary has been credited this month?
Yes, a payment of 3,20,000 rupees was made from Tata Teleservices Limited, reference salary on the 2nd May. Anything else I can help you with?
Yes. What is my balance in my current account?
Your balance is 3,54,045 rupees. Anything else?
Please transfer 4,000 into my Paytm account today.
Do you want to transfer 4,000 rupees into your Paytm account?
Yes.
Key in your 6-digit PIN. We will transfer 4,000 into your Paytm account within the next 5 minutes. Anything else?
Show me transactions above 5,000 in April.
There were 5 transactions above 5,000 rupees in April. Here they are. Anything else I can help you with?
No thanks.
Thank you for using Voxta Voice Banking.
So I'm sure you got an idea of what we do, which is essentially voice bots. And we played it in English simply because, I think that is the one language most of us in India speak. Now we do, 9 languages in total. We're working with call centers as well as banks, both on the mobile app side as well as handling phone calls. But we are always looking for partners. And ultimately, I think the key thing is, this whole event has been. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. The whole event has been about access. Almost all the startups are talking not about the top tier of people, but about the next band of people in India having access to digital services. And that is really, we're very glad to hear that. And that is what we're really about as well, about helping that next band of people access digital services. We have a couple of slides, which I'll just run through. And
just to understand, you guys support local languages as well, correct?
Well, our whole starting point was and is local languages. We actually came to, English was almost a development language for us.
Okay.
If you see what I mean. So, for instance, we've got, I think the point is Indians are really much more vocal than they are written, the vast majority of Indians. I'll just zoom through these slides because I think the point is if you look at India and you look at it as a pyramid, we're not concerned with the top piece, the affluent. We're really interested in the aspiring and those people entering the formal workforce, and plus potentially some people are also on a daily wage. We're about providing access to that layer of people. We do solutions around mobile apps as well as in the call center. And then, we've worked with a bunch of different people. I mean, we actually started off back in 2014 doing a massive project, telephone, it was called Political Siri by TechCrunch for the BJP at that time. We worked with Record Bankaiser. We've done an English learning app ourselves. We've worked with financial services companies like Kavi. Currently, we're working with an insurance company and a tech bank on customer acquisition. The point is voice is incredibly helpful in the call center. And this was really about the call center. And one of the amazing things about using voice, as opposed to even, for that matter, mobile apps by themselves, is that we can improve the app over time incredibly well because we have access to all the requests that people have made, the conversations that are there, and we iteratively, tag those and push those back. This is just a slide to show some of the pieces of the underlying technology that we have, speech recognition engines, the conversation manager.
Are you sharing any screen right now? We are unable to see your screen.
Oh, okay. Then I think I am. Okay, can you see the screen now?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I won't run through everything again, but I just, so this is just shows our tech platform. Somebody was asking the question about languages. I mean, these are the 9 languages we currently have, which are operational. Bengali, Malayalam, Telugu, Tamil, Marathi, Kannada, Gujarati. Others are in the pipeline, but to be frank, invariably people start with one of these languages first. The point I was trying to make was these are some of the clients we worked with earlier, and it was really to say that within India, if you think of India as a pyramid, we're really looking at the middle to low end of the pyramid. That's the set of people that we want to support. Yeah, tech platform. It also moves into a little bit of semantic, trying to understand what actually the meaning behind certain terms and conversations. We've got a very strong team. Well, I've been an entrepreneur. This is probably my 4th venture. Kavita's, worked at the BBC and other communications companies, has a very strong sense of how users operate. Anup, on the business development side, has sold something like 40,000 call center seats around the world. And then we have a couple of advisors, Hervé Boulard. We have some of our speech tech from Switzerland, but we've developed it in India. We're based out of Hyderabad. And another advisor, Malay Gatak. And our whole approach really is that we want to succeed. We succeed when our clients succeed. And that happens because we've even shaped our commercial model to that. So we have a setup fee in some cases, but really it's all about successful transactions for clients. It's only when those are in place, we make money. And that's about it. So look forward to talking to more of you.
Great. Thanks a lot, Sirish. And I guess we have like an interesting question, which in fact I was about to ask, which Mahindra already mentioned, that does all the voices recognize the local dialects as well?
So I mean, what happens is that we iterate. So when we first start, we may only recognize 50% of what people say. But then as users are there, we take the transactions that are not successful, put them through an annotation plus, again, the engines learn again. And that's like a 2-week cycle. So we're iterating that over time. So we then rapidly will get up to above 80%. And after about 6 to 9 months, we'll be up to 90% plus.
Oh, that's really interesting.
And I think the point is, there's no one, if you think about it, whether you speak Hindi or whatever, no individual is going to go and understand every dialect around the country ever, right? Unless they've been traveling continuously for the last 10 years.
And what kind of bandwidth requirement does this require? And does the engine is able to identify the voice as a password as well, or the password has to be inputted via typing?
So I mean, voice biometrics is the voice of the password that you're talking about. And we have that function, and actually one state government is pushing us to put that into place. But I would actually start and use existing verification mechanisms first, unless it depends on the use case, really. In terms of bandwidth, well, as I said, we work on telephone calls. That's one. So that immediately tells you what kind of bandwidth that will require. On the mobile apps, you will need the same amount of bandwidth as you would have on a phone call. It all goes down to sampling rates and stuff.
That's interesting.
So when somebody is asking a question about IVR, will it function as IVR? Well, no, it still functions through voice. That's the point.
Okay. Oh, that's amazing.
But I think a lot of people find it's more useful in the call center than it is on a mobile app. That's some set of people. Yeah. So could I ask, so Mahindra, is there an organization you're linked to? I mean, the people who sort of ask questions, I'd love to, kind of understand.
So Mahindra is from One Money, who already presented earlier today. I wanted to ask one question from my side as well. Since I was recently in Vietnam last year, and we were having a similar problem when it came to voice, and the whole problem around a voice bot was not understanding a dialect with sufficient amount of data across various dialects. The engine can be trained. The problem which we are facing is introduction of a new language, and what is the time frame which required when, let's say, if you have to introduce one more language for the engine?
So, I mean, if somebody is very interested in doing a particular language, because it's a great question, by the way, we've actually built the whole process of collecting data, annotating it, and then creating engines within that. And the way we've done it is not just by saying, oh, we've got to do everything through machine learning. It's a mix of machine learning and human annotation and some rules. So the long way of answering your question, but it's 3 months is kind of, we could
a standard 3-month practices like which we have been seeing with major industry wide. And if that's 3 months, then that's an amazing time to integrate one more question or one more language. With that, I guess I have time for. With that, I have time for just one more question right now. And if any of the audience members has it, then or else we would like to move ahead with the final announcements. Great. I think you can drop your contact details on the chat box, which I guess you have already done that. So thank you so much, Sirish, for joining us today. And just hold back. We have some amazing announcements for next Friday. And with that, I would like to mention about the next set of events which are coming up in this month itself. We have a knowledge series coming up, and majorly it's a kind of a discussion forum where we want to enable audience towards various masterclass formats, make sure that the right set of fintech market knowledge expertise is being delivered. To do that, we are having an amazing line of speakers for next week. That is Mr. Vidurpay from Capgemini Australia joining us, Mr. Cyrus Daruwala from IDC Singapore joining us, and Mr. Samik Kundu from True Era from Singapore joining us for next week. So with that, we will send you out the details over the email with the relevant joining details for the meeting. And that will be an amazing discussion. The whole topic of discussion is around thriving on data and how we can make sure the right set of data is used for advancements. There is a lot many conversations which comes around thriving on data. So I won't waste much time describing the next event, but that's what it is all about. And with that, I would like to formally close this event. And I would like to invite Ajay. Hi, Ajay. Are you still there with us?
Sumit, I'm having extremely low bandwidth at this end. I've been like cutting in and out, but that's why I've kept my video off. But thank you everyone for being a patient audience, and thank you to the 10 fintechs that took time on a Friday evening to pitch, present, answer some questions. We hope there is some meaningful connections coming out of these conversations, and we hope to kind of keep building this community, bring more interesting people onto the platform to pitch as well as to speak on. So thank you so much and have a wonderful weekend. Over to you, Sunil.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Ajay. And thanks a lot, everyone, for joining us today. Do follow us on all our social media platforms, and look forward to seeing you everyone for the next Friday's session. Thanks a lot.